I started
Yeah,
recording.
be quiet, Kaitlin. Start
All
recording.
right. Welcome to
Begins to record.
Fringeworthy. This is Bruce.
Hey!
Hey, thank you. This is Bruce, your game master, and
Yay!
with us tonight is Ken, who is playing Chen Wei.
Yes.
We have we have Chuck, who's playing Mike. We have Jason, who's playing Jason, and we have Kaitlin, who's playing Angel. And we have another character who may or may not be here, so we're just going to ignore that he exists and just he's going
The
to be
amorphous
an
blob.
amorphous
Amorphous
blob,
blob.
right. Anyways, when we last left our team, they had been given an offer that they probably shouldn't refuse by a guy by the name of Carmen, who you know basically said that he and the Catholic Church have been like this. Well, not him personally, but the family and the Catholic Church have been together for since at least the year 1000, and and he's he's in charge. He's the head of the family here in the Sanctuary City, and he'd like the team to basically go back to the Central Church uh, in New Jerusalem and basically let them know how things are going here, because that's what family does. They get together every once in a while. So
Cool.
they've had now three possible offers to actually leave the city. But this is the only one that actually sounds like it actually has the means of accomplishing it. Because since they do have a large organization, they do know things that some of the other groups may not know as far as navigating in and out, because, they're the black market, kind of everything that you'd imagine somebody who goes by the name of Carmen being in charge of. So, anyways, there is also a fringe-worthy individual who they spent some time with by the name of Allison Walker, and she is a shoe inventor. Not that the idea of shoes are a novel concept, but she stylish shoes.
Designer.
Designer, shoe
And
designer.
she's named Walker, so nominative determinism.
Wow. I think her parents probably didn't know that was going to be her future when they knocked boots. But hey, okay, it's works for me.
The
Anyways,
future begins
she
tomorrow.
has not yet been apprised of her fringe-worthy status. They
Yeah.
just spent some time with her, getting to know her, and got themselves a couple of shoes, pairs of shoes for them to knock around Sanctuary City in, and then they ran off to talk to Carmen. So now it's basically, hopefully at this point, they're ready to do something. So they've had a whole week to think about it since the last game session. So
Wait, you're
I
supposed to
I
think
hand
about
it
it?
off to you guys. What's going on?
Okay. Well,
I say
I
we.
think we should. Mike thinks that they should take the offer and head to New Jerusalem because there's a lot of secrets there, and we could learn a lot. Okay.
I'm with you on that. However, I think we should go try and talk to Allison Walker and tell her that she's fringe-worthy before we do that. Let her have her crisis before we come back.
The problem with talking to Alison Walker and saying that she's fringe-worthy is that since we have no way to prove she can do anything except make a crystal glow, her response should logically be, "You're nuts.
Like I said, let her have her
You're
crisis.
insane. You're completely insane. What's this portal of fringe paths? What?"
Well, we've
I
dealt
don't.
with insane people before. I don't see
Yeah,
any
but
difference,
this
really.
is people who think we're the insane people.
Well, like I
As for
said,
the Mafia
yeah.
guys, we don't have much choice except to go with them. But
We don't know if they're insane.
there's the question of whether we should just try to just immediately head for the portal, which itself is not a bad idea. But what are we going to do once we're there? Like either bring something that's so powerful that we don't have some of the problems we have, bring something that's a lot of proof of what we're saying, like an alien or something.
And how do you plan on getting an alien here?
Like a, I don't know, a Bliznitz or something.
How do you plan on
They're
getting?
Fringeworthy. Every Bliznitz is Fringeworthy, I believe.
Every
how do we
business
get them
ever
here?
tested was Fringeworthy. You're correct.
That's what I'm saying. If we can leave,
business is fringe.
if we can leave, if we can get to the portal, we can go through the portal and bring back, equipment or an alien
I
or something.
understand that portion of it, but how do we get back to Sanctuary City if we don't know how to get back there?
You know what? Better idea. Let's just kidnap her.
Throw her in a bag?
No.
Kidnapping!
And besides, we wouldn't be, unless we're going directly to the portal, that's sort of silly anyway. So it seems like we don't have much choice except to just actually go on the Mafia trip, unless there's like other groups that we could try to contact on our way out.
You basically know all the groups that want to leave.
But the groups that want to leave, do they have any goals on the outside that we can get to on the way?
Yeah, find what's his face and have everybody live happily together again.
Okay, aside from that, because we're not, finding him, we don't know where he is.
Yeah.
That's what both groups wanted.
Yeah, find Zamboni group. They don't know about that thing with the orange crystal in it. They don't. That was something that the council showed you. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't even know about that. And it's considering the fact that it tried to fly off and go in a particular direction, might be of great interest.
Now, what you could do,
if you told them about it.
Now we could send the Zamboni guys some information about this, or even tell them we found a Fringeworthy person. Maybe they can use Zamboni's equipment.
I told you the crystal just wanted to go outside.
Wanted to run free with the buffalo that no longer exists.
Fun.
Exactly.
Well, we have the crystal, so we can always. I think we're making this too complex. I mean, I do like the idea of kidnapping the shoemaker, just because it's funny and throws a monkey wrench into everything.
Yeah.
And that way, if we never make it back to Sanctuary City, we could still hit the portal with her and bring her back and go, look, we're not crazy.
Yeah.
Besides, if she spends enough time with us, that Stockholm syndrome should set in. So.
And be like, I'm sorry.
There's the military brainwasher talking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. You found my point. I'm glad you did.
Hey,
you get a gold star.
If we do kidnap her, she'll never be able to come home. I'm sorry, ma'am, but this is her new home.
She could.
Shh, we don't give her that option anymore.
Oh, okay. I mean, wow, you're harsh.
I never said I was being
okay.
nice.
You seem to be taking this as seriously as you guys take haunted
I
dice.
am totally taking this seriously. Once she's indoctrinated, she can return back and spread the word of the pathways to the council. I was like, yeah, I've been there. I've seen it.
Yep.
What?
Yeah. No,
I'm thinking outside the box here. With this narrow-minded thinking
are.
that we've been doing has
I'm
gotten
laughing.
us almost nowhere.
I'm laughing with you.
All right. Very good.
Okay, so assuming we don't do that.
Okay, assume we don't do that.
We don't do that.
It's the only options I can think of are either to do what the Mafia wants, or try to get away to the portal. And you're right, like if we get away to the portal and we come back, how do we know where Sanctuary is going to be?
Why not both?
I mean, we could go back to try to find the portal.
We could
try to find the
her.
portal, go back, and eventually, when we come back, actually do the Mafia mission.
What about if we kidnap her, agree to the Mafia thing, kidnap her, go out, and then make a decision on whether we're going to the portal or we're actually going to whatchamacallit?
Didn't I try saying that last week?
That's doubly
I think you
stupid.
did. Why do you think that's stupid?
Huh? Who said it was
Come
stupid?
on.
What? She's Fringeworthy. We need to bring back Fringeworthy
So
people.
she's Fringeworthy. You know.
Yeah. We kidnap her.
First of all,
Bring her away.
if you haven't even decided whether you're going to the portal, like where you're bringing her.
That's what.
Second of all, kidnapping unwilling people is sort of a bad thing.
Maybe in this world it's
And
not.
even if we prove she's Fringeworthy, it's still sort of a bad thing.
All right. Oh.
Then you had no point
Kidnapping
in this
her
plan.
first would mean we would have to, all while we're doing the mission or taking her to the portal, we'd have to have her tied up, bound, confined, all that stuff. So let's do the Mafia mission first. Then we go back to Ms. Walker, persuade her to come with us, and then make our way to the portal and get out of here.
Well, persuading her to come with us would involve really going and getting something that's a little more persuasive, like an alien or something.
And
Why do you say that? I mean,
or even just going. The problem is if somebody were to come up to you and say something like that, and you don't know you're in a sci-fi game with portals in it, you're going to say that's insane.
Actually, if someone were to tell me, "Come with me, I'm going to show you aliens," I would go.
Absolutely no offense.
If I found a magic portal, I would be the first one to jump through it.
Well,
Chen Wei,
we'll the point would be to actually bring the alien, so the alien is with you, and they can see the alien without going anywhere.
Chen Wei.
Well, that's impossible. So let's scratch that off the list.
We will never know what her reaction is until we actually ask her.
Also,
so we can't assume that she's going to say no or she's going to be freaked out. She could have. Well,
there could always be some special circumstance, yeah, but
yeah. So let's do what's in front of us.
Now you have the if you really want to talk to her and try to convince her to come, we do have Zamboni's thing, which if she can manage to use it, will at least show that she can do more than make a crystal glow. Although I'm not really convinced that would really prove much.
Chen Wei,
unless she's going to take it around other people and prove it, show that nobody else can do it.
No offense, but I'm 5 seconds away from hitting you in the back of the head.
Ib's head slap. I have seen it.
I got a message for her mom. She says,
all right. Okay.
Well, are we
honestly, and out of game, I'm astonished you're taking the kidnapping idea seriously. And I'm still not 100% sure you are taking it seriously, but if you are, I'm astonished that you're taking it seriously.
We've done weirder things.
We have.
We've also never run into a Fringeworthy person on a planet on one of our portals that we've gone through either, other than the known races.
And Susan, but
and
Susan
since,
was a special
circumstance. Susan was only Fringeworthy because we stuck Annika's brain in her.
That's why I said Susan is a special circumstance.
Yes.
Do we have any guidance from IDET as to what happens when we find Fringeworthy people? I'm going to look at the IDET computer and say, in case of Fringeworthy person.
Oh, they say you should make all efforts to convince them to come back and join IDET.
So,
well, see, there you go.
It's part of the alien
culture. All right.
But
all efforts.
They don't mention,
not kidnapping.
Not kidnapping. Yeah, they don't mention that.
You would think they need to mention not kidnapping.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are supposed to follow the UN rules of engagement, basically. The UN, humanitarian charter. So,
two words for you: Korean War. That was the UN charter.
Okay.
Well, that's because the Soviets threw a fit and didn't participate.
3 words: Kosovo.
I can drop the actual PDF into the chat if you need me to.
Of the UN doctorate. No.
Yeah, the UN humanitarian charter of
IDET, right?
Of behavior. Well, it's the same one of behavior. So it's because you guys are actually working for the UN, you're expected to follow their their
Okay.
thing, but it's
Uh-huh.
so basically you're not supposed to like encourage slavery, things like that. But I don't think they mention anything about, and you're not supposed to engage in torture and
Okay.
other things. But I don't recall them having a specific statement about no abducting a Fringeworthy. That wasn't really in the list. So
All right.
it's a gray area that
Well,
will
they didn't
probably
expect anyone to consider it.
possibly receive an addendum after this mission.
It's never
But
a war crime the first time.
that's right. It's never illegal until someone does something.
Because IDET never imagined that someone like Jason would join.
There you go.
I didn't mention kidnapping first. I
That
just
was
agreed
me.
with it.
Okay. All righty. Okay.
Just
Anyway,
pointing out that I'm just concurring with the concept.
All right. Well, let's.
And I'm sure if Gandalf was here, he'd say, "Yeah."
I have yet to comprehend Gandalf, but that's okay.
Okay, do
I
we
like him.
have cards?
I knew you were going to
let's
say
get.
that. I'm trying to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
back now.
Let's do the mission from the Mafia first. Get in good with them. Get some information, and then we
think
can
we're going to
deal
make
with
it
the
back
Walker
from the?
thing.
You guys think we're going to make it back from New Jerusalem? That's the part I find hysterical.
Take it one step at a time.
It would
Jason.
be if you were the mafia and you were trying to recruit people like us and send them there. You'd probably shoot us when we got back. If we managed to get back at all.
Oh.
I mean, whatever they say about family,
Well,
they shoot their own
updates.
families.
They'd want updates, I assume. So.
If they had wanted us dead, they would have killed us already.
Well, they want us to do the mission, but they want us to be dead after we do the mission to not leave any loose ends.
Who is to say they would? This is the only mission they want us for. Maybe they want us for more missions.
I don't know, but I haven't had a decent taco since I got here, so.
Me neither.
Well, you do understand. Okay, I mean, as far as you know, Carmen doesn't know anything about your claim of being interdimensional explorers.
Right.
And let's keep it that way for now.
Well,
they're all still being fed the you came from some bolt hole, survivalist bolt hole somewhere.
But that does raise the question, as I said, of going back to the portal. If they think we came from a survivalist bolt hole, they're not going to want us. Sorry, let me say this again. If they think we came from some survivalist bolt hole, they're not going to think we want to go back there because then they know where it is, and they could cause those sorts of trouble. Them knowing where the portal is, it's not going to benefit them nearly as much as knowing where a bolt hole is where they can take people hostage.
They can't use the portal anyway, so it doesn't make a damn bit of difference.
I mean, they could probably
trying with their
camp out
population until somebody does.
They could camp around and wait for people to come out, but that's about it. So it may be that if they assume we came from a bolt hole, they're not too worried about us going back, and a portal is more. So we may have a chance to go back to the portal because the measure they think they take for a bolt hole wouldn't apply.
All right.
So really, I think the question is, do we just do the mission or do we go to the portal?
Well, I vote for do the mission. If all of you want to just leave, we just leave. Okay, good.
Just out of curiosity, let's see if I actually do smack him in the back of the head.
Roll to hit, I guess.
Ken, Mike, Jason, on number 3.
Okay.
I got big boobies on mine. Capture.
So Bruce,
cool.
are these is the Mafia? Actually, I'll ask my data buddy. Data buddy, tell me about the Mafia.
Romance. All right, good.
It says that historically they were a group of.
Okay, data buddy, tell me about the Mafia's existence, if any, in the current time period.
There is no we have no record of any identified mafia group in Sanctuary City.
Okay, I play my card and I say, tell me, check everything, including references to New Jerusalem and to people from outside the city, and tell me everything you know about the mafia, who runs them, if you've heard anything about other mafia groups that are in New Jerusalem, if you know anything about any schisms involving the mafia.
15 hours later.
Tricky. Basically, it comes back and says, how much are you willing to spend on this search?
Zero. Say zero.
How much would it take for, let's say, the next 2 hours?
Can someone else smack me in the back of the head?
It's not
I
not a
could.
matter
I
of
have
how long
T12
the
strength.
processing is. It's a matter of there may be certain individuals that would need to be contacted that would require
Okay,
honorarium.
let's say 100,000 minutes.
100,000 minutes. Okay. All right. Working.
100,000 minutes?
I asked my data buddy, Bruce.
I got 1 billion. 100,000 is not noticeable out of 1 billion.
Oh, golly. Okay.
Okay, Mr.
How did you
Bezos.
get where did you flash your genitals to get 1 billion? Oh, jeez.
I sold a song, remember?
He sold a soul.
Oh.
Song.
It wasn't my soul.
Oh, song.
He sold his soul.
Songs and souls are different things.
Not anymore.
I don't know, except for soul music.
You wrote a song, Chen Wei?
He sold a song.
I sold one of ours. I sold one of your Earth songs.
Bye.
Oh.
Bye.
Oh, okay. I have never heard of this particular song.
Why
did you reference that?
No, not at all.
I don't know, because it came to my mind.
Okay, I'm going with you to the hospital just because I'm tired of listening to Chen Wei.
I'm gonna go to the hospital and get some of those upgrades that they talked about.
I'm just gonna sit there.
I'm gonna pray to the Buddha that we get some useful information from this.
And Mike can slap him for it.
All right. Okay, so your data buddy eventually comes back to you and tells you that there is no current information on a group other than what is in a number of fictional accounts of anything going on in New Jerusalem about the Mafia. And which
you realize that's 1,666 hours that you just paid for, so
you won't get back.
So the card didn't work then.
No, I'm saying you wanted to know about New Jerusalem.
I say I want to know everything you can find about them, whether here, New Jerusalem, outside.
Well, I thought you wanted to limit it to current information.
Oh yes, current.
Right. Well, there is no current information.
Okay, extend it back, let's say 30 years.
That would be current.
That would still be current.
No.
Okay, but I'm just saying is that I'm willing to give you information about
I give
things that are going on in Sanctuary City.
I give a description.
I can't tell you anything about what happened over. They have no communication with the central, with New Jerusalem.
Not even rumors. Okay, I give a description of the iconography that we saw when we were in the Mafia guy's place.
Okay, sure.
Like the throne and such, and any groups that use like systems like that?
Okay. Throne?
What was it, a throne, or what was it exactly? It's some kind of weird seat.
What's Ati?
I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about right now.
Oh, okay, where the guy was sitting on some like weird throne or something.
It was a big heart-shaped bed.
Okay, heart-shaped bed.
Yeah,
I will
okay.
describe that then.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So there'll be some. I don't know. Let me roll a random number here. Let's see here. There are 832 separate pictures of heart-shaped beds that have been used in that is
have been used by criminals.
Go all the way back to these geological formations called Niagara Falls and the honeymoon suite associated with the honeymoon suite. And
Okay,
Vegas,
I've seen
give
that.
me examples of
Vegas.
criminals who use those things to intimidate rather than just for sexual purposes. And give me information about the criminals who pretend, to serve people, in trays.
Okay. There are again 818 reports in the criminal database of people who have been who have had been induced by criminals, organized, who seem to be part of an organized group for the purposes of any number of things, extracting minutes, mostly extracting money, but also for keeping silent about certain testimony they've seen. However, there's but that's really in a matter of not being willing to corroborate, because the video evidence has already been recorded and sent on to usually things.
Are any of them Italian?
There's okay, that's outside the parameter search, but I will do that. Let's see here. Are 74 of those individuals have someone in their historical past that was from the area of the world known as Italy.
Okay. I go through my welcome packet that I received from the Mafia guys. Is there any unusual brand names in there or things that aren't normal for this society? Like, do they have a logo or something?
Oh, well, of the family?
Yeah.
No, they didn't do that. They just mostly just wanted you to understand that they are a large organization that have their fingers. They are influencers. They refer to themselves as influencers, and uh, and uh, uh, oh, somebody who gets things done. I can't think of the term, but and of course there's a large number of them who own businesses and other things like that. There's a large loose association of businesses that
Do I know what any of the businesses are?
they don't mention it because that would be like them saying, hey, here we are. But apparently they claim to have at least 10,000 businesses and close to 300,000 people that are under their wing
And the
here
data buddy knows nothing
in
about.
Sanctuary City. Well, what you could do, which would be maybe a smart thing to do, would be to go and maybe run a picture
I give a
scan
description of
of Carmen. Well, you don't need a description. You've got you had your helmet.
Okay, in that case, yeah, I'll look
I
him
mean, it
up.
wasn't able to communicate outward, but it still was
It's
there.
still recorded. Okay, yeah, I'll look up him. I'll look up his minions too, if we
Okay.
have pictures of them.
Sure, you do. Yeah, there's they all are listed as working for uh, a particular company, which is essentially a large series of dry cleaners.
After they had the garbage truck last week.
Is there really a demand for dry cleaning in this society?
Of course.
Okay.
They were
I mean,
sanitation last week.
they handle industrial accidents and things
Okay.
like
I asked, can you
and
tell
yet
me any?
that company also does seem to have some association with construction materials and like cement and other things
Okay,
like
and
that.
tell me about crimes associated with these companies,
There's no
even
crimes
if it doesn't
associated.
involve employees.
There are no crimes associated with these companies that they're on record.
Is this an unusually low crime rate?
There is a relatively low crime rate. I mean, in this city, I mean, most crimes are crimes of passion or crimes of well, mostly crimes of passion or result of fraud, attempts at fraud, and things like that. So,
So no like extortion and murder then.
well, yeah, that would be fraud. Yeah.
Murder.
But as far as murder is concerned, this particular individual, Carmen, has never uh, been been identified with a murder. However, one of his associates, okay, was in fact somebody who was involved in the wrongful death of an individual.
Who's the individual?
The individual was uh, was a one of those maker type people, and apparently that person uh, was it was claimed during the trial that he was being forced to construct certain equipment that could be used to commit crimes. However, there was no any kind of a trail to lead them to any identifiable person.
What
However,
type of equipment was he
oh,
forced to?
I mean things like data, physical breaching equipment, um, uh, 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 oh, I mean most things are legal. So like things like
Any particular
well, this
like
was
target or location that his equipment was meant to be used on?
well, it could be used to break into a number of locations. The most likely location that something like this would be done would be either something where a rare material was being kept, or someplace where certain individuals might be seeking shelter, or where certain data was being kept off
Were,
the
were any
screen
such were
of the
any
screen.
such possible targets mentioned at the trial?
Uh, yeah, I mean that was the claim. This equipment is used for it, theoretically could be used for rescue people, to breach various things, but in the hands of not people who are not directly related to rescue people, it would be used primarily for breaching defenses, physical defenses of businesses, homes, other places like that. The problem is that the guy couldn't. They weren't able to. They didn't have enough.
Substantiate.
They didn't have enough evidence to link, let's say, the individual that we're talking about with this particular crime. So, and as a result, the person involved ended up having to do time for the material because since he couldn't deliver up any customers, therefore he's the primary user.
Okay,
So therefore had to do the time for it.
Was there involving either this person or the people I've already mentioned? Is there anything about wanting to leave the city? Like, does he? Are they associated maybe with groups that want to leave the city, or
no, not at all. They're I mean, this is a criminal enterprise, and so it's mostly associated with making money. Okay, gaining influence, things like that. It's not toward like getting back to New Jerusalem.
So at the trial, did the guy name any of the people he said were forcing him to do this? I mean, aside from the people who were already mentioned.
He just claimed this one person was talking to him and had offered to buy these things, but and gave him the data he needed in order to make the material. But he was suspicious as to why he wanted this material and never got an answer. So he reported to the authorities. The authorities looked into it. They tried a sting operation which failed, and as a result, the guy was brought to trial. The other individual was I don't want to use the word exonerated, but he was not convicted. There wasn't enough evidence to hold him. And of course, that might be questionable. It might be that there were certain influences.
Were there any people who suddenly died or disappeared who might otherwise have been provided evidence, like that he said he would bring as witnesses who couldn't appear?
Well, this particular one was a fairly small contained thing. It was the guy who owned the maker shop, the material he was working with, the actual equipment itself. The data files for it, they were, they had been stolen, or actually not stolen. They came from another person's source, and were delivered to him to use, but there was no, there was a computer glitch that kept there to be a trail. Basically, the only trail was from them to him. They basically said, "Here's the axe. Here's how you request it. Here's the files you want to get," and he paid for it himself, the business owner, and he was supposed to be reimbursed, of course, as part of this. But when it came down to it, the money. He was never reimbursed, so therefore there was no trail to somebody outside, and that's because he screwed up the transaction by requesting it to the police, so if he'd let it go through, then they in a way they tried a sting operation by going and getting the stuff and trying to hand it off, but when they did, something happened, and the handoff was essentially in just kind of burner accounts of minutes, seconds, and such, and so they weren't able. So they think that something what legitimately wrong happened, but then it came time to say, well, somebody, you weren't able to prove it, so it still fell back to him as being, the person who committed a crime, and therefore he, the shop owner had to pay for it. And the story got spread far and wide, and there was a decided drop of people reporting this kind of stuff after that.
Okay.
So essentially, people learned that going to the police after being asked to do questionable things wasn't in their best interest.
Little
Okay.
Cabrozzi sleeps with the fishes.
Nobody died, by the way. Nobody in all of this.
Now, you mentioned there was a computer glitch.
Yes.
Was there suspicion of hacking?
Oh, yes.
Or were there any suspects?
No.
They're possible hackers.
No. There's no one was. I mean, there's lots
Okay.
of people who are committing
Out of game
in this society.
I'm out of game. Everybody else, I'm sort of running out of ideas of what to ask to get more information from this. Can some of you guys help me out here, please?
Well, you've established the fact that there is the government knows that there is a criminal element in society.
Yeah.
Okay, but the problem is that
And
it can also be tracked back to some of these religious groups. There's a lot of religious groups that they all want everybody to basically believe in their religion, and some of them are more adamant about it than others. And so there's been occasionally there's been physical attacks by people that may have been done under the guise of religious fervor, but instead it might.
so then it's possible that the mafia groups are disguising their crimes as being committed by different organizations, is what you're saying?
Yes, or they're hiring people from other organizations to do the crimes.
Now, they seem to be a Catholic. Any of those Catholic specifically?
No, the people committing crimes are these other groups, these smaller groups, these other religions.
Okay.
Catholicism accepts basically firmly believes in not murdering. Okay, but it doesn't necessarily. But it doesn't necessarily. But it does allow people to protect themselves, and it does allow them to engage in force against those who would.
Okay. Do you know any rumored mafia passwords or code words or things like that?
Okay. Yeah. Here, hold on a second here. Let me. Can I get that? Doggone it. It's on another computer. Let me just see here.
Like if I wanted to, let's say, tell some mafia group that I'm sent by another mafia group, what would I actually have to say to them?
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Yeah.
Do they have code words that mean like I came from another group or
right?
I'm family or
Yes, that's the point. Is that So here's an example for you. But that's I just dropped into the chat. Those are some signs and countersigns.
Okay.
So I mean,
anyway, out of game. Obviously, I'm getting people bored, especially Kaitlin.
Well,
and I'm saying so. Could anybody want to suggest things I can research here?
I mean, if you're actually trying to achieve something with this, I would be glad. I would be glad to honor your card and give you more information. But this seems very general what you're asking me.
Okay, I'm trying to find out anything that I could say or do, especially in New Jerusalem, that would make things a little bit safer. Like if the Mafia sends me a code word that means, we're here, and by the way, shoot the messenger. I want to know so that I don't tell them shoot the messenger.
Okay, you want to know if there's some combination of keywords that would do that. Okay, so
Well, it's not. I want to know if there's some combination of keywords I can avoid so that we can stay alive doing this.
right. Well, any countersigns that you have are going to be coming from Carmen for you to use over, and it's going to be some really ancient stuff considering it's a couple hundred years old.
Right, but is there like ancient stuff I should avoid?
Okay, let's see if I can find something here. Okay, so here you go. Right. Here's some stuff you can use.
Okay, well, okay. Another thing, how I'd like to find out from what is little is known of the mafia groups here. How honorable are they really? Like, if they say you're like family, does that mean they still shoot us?
Well, Olive Garden says you're like family, but
Yeah.
they still
Well,
charge.
yeah.
The guys that were talking to you were talking to when you were in the trash truck were talking about how they wanted to become made men, and that was the goal for everyone, because then the family has your back. But until then, you're just hoping for someone to um, to you're hoping you're valuable enough that nobody drops a dime on you.
Yeah. And I guess another thing I want to know is, have they ever dealt with anybody else doing stuff like this?
Well,
And
there's been a lot of issues. I mean, if you want to say, who has committed the various crimes and stuff like that outside.
well, I'm saying more like stuff like related to what we're doing. Like, have they sent other people out of the city,
There is
and
no
did those
evidence.
people come back alive?
There is no evidence anywhere that anybody has gone outside the city since the city was established, outside of the group that goes out and rescues people. I mean, you actually looked into this before, and there, it's
Okay.
they are
Play
very
play.
adamant about nobody goes to the surface, nobody goes outside the city because they don't want the central church to know where they are.
Okay. Out of game. I'm at a loss for asking anything more. Um, but I can't help but feel there's stuff I should be asking here.
Okay.
So, is there?
Okay. So
I'm not asking you what it is. I'm just asking, is there something I should be asking?
I'm trying to think here. I wasn't really thinking about you using that card to do that, which is fine. But I didn't think ahead about what you might use it for. So let's see here. Well, some of the questions you might have for them is, how are you, for Carmen, if you do agree to do this, because you do have as far as you have the option of saying no. Okay. All right. But I mean, he didn't act, he put it up like it was something for you to agree to. He didn't say that you're going to do it and this, click, this is the reason why, it was somewhat intimidating by finding Mike inside the big, the big pig roasting pan. That might have been
Tell
a
me about it.
subliminal message.
Yeah.
But anyways, they are a hierarchical organization. okay, which probably has cells where only one in each of the cells, only one person knows to contact somebody at a higher level, and then again, and then each level it's the same way. Once you get to a certain level, then yeah, you're going to have people that are under bosses that are going to be in charge of various things. But you can also as pretty much assume that a lot of these that a lot of their businesses are legit. Okay, that they're not a bunch of people who make their money by robbing people. They make their money by doing business, but they use um, influence to get people to fall into line, join the organization. You don't see people. I mean, you may see things like things being damaged. Like I said, there's things like there are accidents that happen to businesses and stuff like that. And there's been some people saying, yeah, there were some people said that they wanted to help us. Check into possibly substandard fire equipment or wiring and things like that, and when they said no, we're not interested in doing that, they said okay, fine, and then a week later suddenly there's a fire. So the but it's not so pervasive an organization that it looks like that there's a crime wave going on. This appears to they seem to be very careful about this, and that most businesses that they own, they might have done that more in the beginning, but now 100 years later, they own the businesses. They just have to say, hey, just make sure that you make us the inheritor of your your property, your business, or whatever, and then they move somebody in. They basically get it, and they move somebody in. So
okay, well,
it's which means they also have large voting blocks as a result. And
okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna really be boring people.
Okay,
Getting
well,
all this information.
so the biggest question I think you would have is not their distribution of people in the city, but more like how are they planning how are they planning on contacting the uh, the the families once they get to Central City, because it has been a long time.
But they gave us, like, presumably they would give us code words like the kind of stuff that I just asked
But they
about,
haven't
right?
done that yet. Okay, so they haven't done that
We haven't
yet.
accepted
I mean,
the
or they could
mission
give us
yet.
like the equivalent of a flash drive.
He did?
No, but they could.
Well, they haven't done it yet. They asked you whether you'd agree to do this.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I mean, so you're saying that a piece of useful information would be how do they transfer information?
No, piece of useful information would be who, how are they planning on contacting these people? I mean, if you travel over to the city, okay, how are you going to get in contact with the families? Embrace the families that are there. Secondly, what information are they going wanting you to transmit to them? Okay. Third is that uh, uh, well, those are two major pieces right there.
Yeah, it's not
And
really
and
clear to
is
me that
and are you and are you going to be able to come back to Sanctuary City afterwards?
it's not
Or
really clear that Databody's going to find anything useful about that. I was in the impression that if we agree to it, then yeah, they'll have to tell us what we need to do.
right.
Yes.
Well, I mean, there has been fictional accounts of people who have one way or another
I mean,
gotten them.
what did they do? Okay, in those fictional accounts, what did they do? Did they, like, give a flash drive, where they, like, hypnotized and told the information they only reveal their hypnosis? were they given like some kind of one-time cipher or?
Saying is that there are fictional stories about people who found their way to the surface for one reason or another, and gets grabbed by the central church, and then engages in adventures in the central city as imagined by these fictional writers. So
it doesn't seem like this would be very useful information for us doing this.
All right.
If I really wanted to get a little more use out of this thing. I mean, I spent a lot of time doing it, but I don't feel I got much out of it. Okay, well, if any of the party can suggest something, please do.
Your data buddy any time to really define that information, Ken.
Well, I'll ask the data buddy to keep looking if it hasn't found anything yet. Right. But I'll also say to the party, another possibility we can consider is actually asking the Mafia guys, would it be okay with you if we were to go deliver this and then go to this other location ourselves? Obviously, you would not say it's a fringe portal. I mean, or maybe you would, but.
I mean, your research has determined at least one person you can identify and perhaps search for in the system to go and attempt to. Now, you don't have police, credentials and things like that, but to go and ask questions of.
We got a very short period of time for this, though.
Even bribe. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just saying is that you want all information, but it doesn't mean that you don't have to go to an individual, because these are all secret. This is all secret information. They're not supposed to talk about the big the important things about their jobs, because they work for a.
Okay, again, if any other players want to help me with this.
Is that something you guys want to do? Do you want to go and search out this one guy that was supposedly related to an attempt to get and maybe this breaching gear that they're talking about is exactly the kind of gear that they might need in order to escape from Sanctuary City.
How many years ago was this attempt?
The attempt was 16 years ago.
No, it's old news. If they got the gear, then they got it. But
they might have gotten it from somebody else.
Right. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, they might have succeeded more recently. This was just a case where they didn't succeed. Maybe they learned to get it in pieces that could be assembled into things that were more useful.
If this guy escaped or something using this gear, whatever method he used would be now, plugged up. You wouldn't be able to use the same.
Did this guy escape? I thought you said that he was arrested and did.
Yeah, he was arrested for having the stuff, but he didn't use it.
The guy who made it was arrested and was was punished. Okay, the guy that he supposedly did it for was one of these guys that you saw as one of the made men that was there in Carmen's room. One of the guards and the guys that were standing around. So he has probably gone in the following 16 years. He has probably gone up in the organization if he's right there with Carmen. So therefore, he might be somebody that you could. That might know a lot about things that Carmen may or may not want you to know about.
I got a suspicion that we'll have to agree to do this before they'll tell us anything. So,
I would tend to agree with that.
Unless you want to track this guy down somehow and force him to tell you stuff. Is that something
trying to track this guy down may lower our
reputation with the
mafia, and they may say, "Oh, these guys are too dangerous, or they're too suspicious, so we can't really use them."
I don't know about that.
Or they may
Well,
say,
I don't
"Wow, these
know.
guys are really resourceful. They actually were able to identify
Right.
this random guy in the
They
group
might say that too.
and actually link them to a crime that he basically beat the rap for." So that might make you sound like people with real skills.
That could also be true. Could also be true.
Well, while Chen Wei was looking for that stuff, I went off to the hospital to do my. You said that they could do some upgrades on me.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, you can become
sure.
greater. Yeah, sure.
What things did you want done?
I forgot what all the different options were.
Okay, well, they certainly could go and do some work on your veins and arteries. Things like cholesterol buildups and such. They could. They would already have results for like just general scans on things like cancer, and every human body has flaws in it, where you got fistulas and things that don't work quite right, and they can actually repair a lot of that stuff.
Okay, we'll just have them. I'll go in and have them repair stuff.
Okay, all right.
Get
Okay,
the upgrade.
roll me a d6, please.
Just one.
Just one.
I got a 3.
3.
Middle of
Okay.
the road.
All right. They basically want to repair your left knee.
Okay.
Okay, because apparently there's something wrong with your knee joint.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Okay, so they basically, what they'll do is that they says, get you into a bed, and they hook you up to a bag of black liquid. They drip into your arm, and you're laying there, and basically they put they wrap a kind of a fancy looking sheath around your knee, it's kind of like a loose elastic wrap, like a protection, and you start feeling your knee getting warm, and they say, okay, we'll check back in a couple hours, see how it's going.
Okay.
Just watch a movie or something.
All right.
And of course, if you move, as in like they got you on like not a catheter but something, for having to go pee or something like that. It says if you feel the need to move, make sure you let your nurse know.
Okay. I'll just lay here.
Okay.
Out of game, when I got my pacemaker, I had to keep because they went into the groin, so I had to keep my leg still and straight for about 5 hours, and that was not fun.
Right. Well, they're not shoving anything up, through your groin. I mean, they're
yeah, but I understand about not moving.
No, well, what the reason they didn't explain to him and he didn't ask. Okay, but there's good reasons that they don't want him to move.
Okay, very good.
So, anyways, but they're not making it so impossible for him to move that he can't even do anything except like twitch or anything.
Okay.
They say that's what the thing is all wrapped around his leg for, is to immobilize his leg, and but at the same time he can still do some movement. All right. Anyways, so they basically after a couple hours, they you basically say you get a message saying that your doctor is on post procedure conference is scheduled for 15 minutes. Just to let you know, he says, in case you were like in the middle of something. So, and he comes in and he says, look, looks like everything is all taken care of. He says, says, did you, how was that? I mean, you're not, according to my chart here, you're not used to nano correction procedures. Was it too hot for you?
No, it was warm. It wasn't bad.
Okay. Good.
Kind of like if you put icy hot on your knee.
I don't know what that is, but that's fine. Some people have neurological issues where they feel like there's things crawling around inside their legs. I'm glad you didn't have that problem.
I didn't notice that.
Some people get sharp pains, but they're just phantom pains, as certain things, depending upon what, of course, is being done. But I'm just saying is that I'm glad that it was a pretty much a no problem for you. Okay, so this now, we're gonna basically keep that wrap on your leg for the next 3 days, just to let the new bone basically adhere properly and get all the connective tissue all laid down nice and solid, because right now it's kind of loosey goosey in there.
Oh, okay.
But you'll still be able to walk on it, because we didn't actually affect your primary joint. The primary pressure surfaces.
Gotcha.
So you can walk on it. Just don't just don't do like the time warp.
Okay. No jumps to the left.
Jump to the left and the pelvic thrust.
Okay.
So don't do that. That
so
would
no
be
Cupid shuffle.
That would bring you back for a lot of follow up. Okay.
So no Cupid shuffle.
Cupid shuffle.
Right. Anyways, but otherwise, let's say in like 3 days, we'll have you out of that, and you'll be just as good. You'll be better than you were before. We basically corrected
awesome.
whole bunch of stuff, and a lot of nascent, basically a lot of stress fractures and
okay.
some torn material, and actually reinforced some places where nature didn't really do a really good job on it. So you'll be far more resistant to injury than you were before.
Sounds good.
All right. So
all right then. Well, thanks.
So, but after 3 days, come on back, and we'll go and start talking to you about any other things that might be a good idea for you to do.
Okay.
So what is because I'm sure there's quite a bit. There's probably a bunch of things that should be done, neurologically speaking, but that's because you've grown up without the benefits of modern medical care.
Yeah, gotcha.
Medical care. So I'm just saying it's to bring you up to the standard of a citizen here in Sanctuary City is going to be an extended process. But we got one of your worst things. Okay. By the way, has your character ever been shot?
Yeah.
How many times?
Well, 2 or 3.
Okay. Where were you shot?
Well, I took a round up by my face. That's why I have a scar. And then I had one in the shoulder and one in my lower abdomen, but it didn't really hit anything major. Just did a little bit of internal damage.
Okay.
They fixed that up.
Okay. See, things like that might have left some scar tissue behind, or you might have, like said, had some torn and poorly healed damage to like connective tissue and stuff. That's the sort of thing that they want to get on first to get that all repaired properly.
Oh, okay.
All right, yeah, but especially anything having to do with like a bullet into your brain pan.
No, I just kind of went through my cheek.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So anyway, so they want you to, they're basically doing the thing that they thought would make the most difference to you,
Mm-hmm.
because it's, you probably noticed some issues, with that knee in the past, but it's
Yeah, sometimes.
never been a big deal. So now, hopefully you'll be like a brand new knee for you.
This is now
You'll
making
be
me
like
question.
you'll be looking at the other knee and going, man, why aren't you up to snuff? You're the weak sauce now.
This is now making me question whether or not they have this society has found a cure for also sclerosis or not.
Osteoporosis.
Osteosclerosis.
Oh well.
The condition of the middle ear that made Angel lose her
Oh.
hearing.
Okay.
It
Okay.
makes me wonder if they have found a cure for that.
Uh,
So, do you have any cure for hearing damage?
I
oh
did
yeah,
tag along,
sure. I
so
mean, it depends on what it is, but I mean, whether it's neurological or physical. If it's if it's purely physical, then yeah,
Well,
you
here,
could
check her out. She's hard of hearing, so.
who you're there by
Her.
yourself.
I did
No,
tag
she
along.
came along
I'm
with
out in
me.
the waiting room.
Oh, all right. They'll come out and they'll say, Miss Angel, would you like to? Um, we know that your data buddy is actively compensating for some issues with your hearing. Would you be interested in possibly some uh, permanent reconstruction of your hearing?
Get in the soup. Get in the soup.
That's true.
I actually have been curious if you'd be able to do that. So
Well,
I'd be 100% interested if you could.
okay. Well, I mean, we have some information here from your data buddy, and when you were initially they, they initially set you up for a data buddy, but I think that we probably should do a more um, a nano level scan of your body in that area to see what can be done. Um,
I'd be more than willing to do so if you'd be able to get rid of the my osteosclerosis. Hmm.
okay. All right. Well, are you available now?
I most certainly am. I just tagged
Okay.
along with my friends.
All right. Well,
Remember, your stuff might not work on the fringe path depending on what they do to fix it.
I'll still have the hearing aid implants. Then
okay.
again, can't use it anyway, so.
Right.
Kaitlin, you know that Mike has damaged hearing as well.
I will
All right.
leave it up to Jason to mention that because he
All
might
I
right.
know
don't
it
know.
too.
So anyway, so they'll send a tech out to you, and they'll lead you off into a room, and they'll put your head in a scanner, and they'll work on your head for about 15 minutes,
Aw,
and
no soup.
then they'll.
Oh,
Well, this is just a scan. Okay. And then they'll basically go and say, all right, uh, based on what we see here, looks like uh, it's, I don't know enough about osteosclerosis to determine what is actually wrong. Is it nerve
Uh,
damage or is it actually physical?
I believe it's physical. 1 second.
Anyways, if it comes down to basically moving cells around, they can do that.
It's the abnormal hardening of bone and an elevation of bone density.
Okay, yeah, they definitely can go in there and restructure you the bone. So yeah, if the problem is that you're, like I say, the joints in your inner ear are ossified or something like that, they can actually do something about that.
All right then.
So, are you interested in that?
I am interested in that.
Okay, I mean, so right now, they say your data buddy is basically just in conjunction with your thing is bypassing your implants and just basically giving information directly to your brain. So, but this would actually be something that would be done to actually restore your natural hearing.
Yeah, Angel has been actively dealing with this since she was 2. So.
Okay, well, all right. That may cause some problems, but okay. So yeah, there go ahead and let me go ahead and roll here for the doctors to see how good they are. All right. Okay. So that is. Okay. So, all right. So basically, this is turns out to be a very complicated procedure. It's going to take a total of 12 hours, and you will be unconscious during it because
I can believe that.
what's that? Well, you're going to be unconscious during it because they'll tell you that if you're not, that when your natural hearing starts kicking in, you may get all kinds of really weird phantom sounds. And also, it's going to be very warm inside your head, and such. So basically, according to them, they do this thing. It's 12 hours later, and your hearing has been restored. And they've also removed your implant.
Now we're in uncharted territory.
Okay. So yeah, you can hear. The problem is that you're not. It's without. I mean, as long as you got the data buddy, it's going to make sure that you hear okay.
Mm-hmm.
But if you take your visor and hearing thing off, you may have to go through a period of re-education of sound.
Okay.
Because you're going to be hearing sound differently than you've ever heard it before. Because you had your initial loss, and then they gave you something else that you learned how to use to help you interpret sounds, and now it's back the way it should have been in the first place, except that your brain's now wired differently. And your data buddy can help you transcend that, and over time you can actually learn it can actually work to allow you to hear normally, so that what's in your brain matches what you're hearing. But right now it's actually making sound like what you're used to hearing as an artificial as the appliance produces. So it's going to be very weird
territory, and I like it.
It'll be very weird for you. Yes, yeah. But you can have fun by going and saying, "Okay, Data Buddy, turn off the translation, and just let me hear normally for, let's say, a half hour." And it's going to be very, very weird for you because you're going to be hearing all kinds of sounds you didn't hear before. You'll be hearing your heartbeat. You'll be hearing like the whooshing of sound coming from the ventilators. You're going to be hearing creaking sounds from parts of your body. You're going to be hearing the sound of the weird squirmy sound of the carpeting.
All right.
You're going to hear the refrigerator kick on.
Yeah, you're going to hear like water might possibly dripping, as you turn water on and off, and of course that white noise shing sound.
Gonna remember that the wind makes noise.
Well, there's no wind here, so there's only the sound from the air conditioning. Or if you got some big fan, then that can also
that works too.
Like that. All right, so yeah, they did that. Yeah, so she's been gone for like 12 hours, and she's been unconscious during that. So Jason, you did you leave her there?
No, well, I mean, if she's going to be there overnight, then probably.
They told you it was going to be. They didn't know how long it was going to be. So if you keep checking with it, they say nope, she's still in process. And
still MIA.
I'm gonna head back to the campus there and let people know what's going on because we've been gone for a while.
Right. Yeah, you got quite a bit of quite a bit of spring in your step that you didn't have before.
Well, as soon as I can move my knee, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's you at some point you don't know when they basically replace the I mean well, okay, I got to take that back because this thing is meant to keep your knee somewhat immobilized.
Right.
So yeah, so no, you're walking, but you're actually limping because of that. But it doesn't hurt. It just feels like you've got some kind of a heavy wrap around your
So
leg.
is he going to need like physical therapy, or can he just
No,
walk when he takes the thing off?
it's literally trying, making sure that he doesn't do anything to damage these newly attached cells or as they move things around. So yeah, you're gonna come walking in with a limp, but
Yeah.
it's not like you need a walker or anything like that. It's more like you just kind of
Like I'm wearing a walking cast.
yeah. Well,
there you go.
It's like you can walk easily, but getting up and out of a chair, you're kind of levering yourself up into a more,
Okay, I see you walking with a limp. I say, are you okay?
Well, I've got a thing around my knee, so.
I mean, did something happen? You got an operation?
Yep. I went to the hospital and they worked on my knee.
So you got
And
to keep that on for a while then?
3 days.
I was trying to find out everything I could about the Mafia.
okay.
Angel's in there right now getting her head worked on. So.
Well, like I said, there's lots of scary stories about the Mafia and stuff like that from the old days or whatever. But the and there were groups of people that were basically trying to take control of a sanctuary city in the beginning. There were a lot of different groups that were trying to do that. Some of them were religious, some of them were political, some of them were, as you might call them, criminal. You know, the and but the evidence you had is that that as time went on, these kinds of violent activities just seem to disappear of their own accord.
As in one group won, and they're enforcing not allowing other groups to cause any trouble.
Or they kind of, the various groups kind of came to a meeting of minds and said, "This is, we got as much as we can get. So this is the way things are from this point on." And there was a lot of issues about at the beginning about the various religious practices and how many resources the various groups were allowed to have. So yeah, there was a lot of striving and struggling. But what really happened is that these various groups realized that this were easier to handle politically than to try to handle it through some kind of warring faction thing. Though there's still some indication that there are still crimes that happen. But mostly these things tend to, get squashed, and you have a suspicion that the families may very well throw some of these groups that are causing trouble to the police, and basically say, suck it up, do your time, or it's going to be worse for you. But if you do your time, then there'll be benefits. So, that kind of hand washing thing, but you could never talk about, what it is that you've done, that you were involved in. And, there's been some deathbed, there's been some deathbed confessions.
Yeah.
Right. That may or may not be true. Again, this may be somebody admitting to certain crimes and stuff so that their family can benefit by the families having somebody now having an answer that absolves them. So if you wanted to become a crusading prosecutor or investigator in this town, there would be things that you might be able to uncover, but you'd also find yourself running into a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
So there's a
what I want to do is come out of this alive and well.
Okay. But the impression you get is that the family, if it actually exists, and you're not being like you're not being scammed on this entirely, okay, is that they're a powerful group, and therefore probably somebody you don't want to go afoul of while you're still living in the city.
Yeah, well, we still did find that one guy, so I think that increases the chance that the family is not a scam. So
right. I think the idea that this is a scam it seems unlikely to you.
Yeah,
it could be one of those Ocean 11 kind of things.
All right, one of my all-time favorite movies.
Yeah, because you guys are new people in the city and you don't know anything really. So,
but as I said, the information that I found seems to imply that they're real. Because
yeah,
I found a guy they're associated with. I found a crime they're associated with.
right.
I found things like
your
dry
card,
cleaning.
Your card because of your card, you are convinced that they are a real group, and if they say they have a means out of the city, they probably do. There's very less like, and they've already revealed their motivation for why they want to get out of the city. Okay, so what they really need is they need agents that can't be tracked back to them, and you guys are the perfect fall guys for that.
There you go. Cool. All right.
Okay, so anyway, explain what I found. It's what I haven't explained already. And I do say I wonder if maybe we can actually do the Mafia mission, but ask them if we could go to the portal as well, and maybe they'll agree. I mean, it's okay.
No,
well,
I don't want to tell the Mafia about the portal.
Or ask them if we can go to some undisclosed location ourselves.
No, they don't need to know.
Okay.
That falls under a need to know kind of thing, and they don't need to know. Once we get out of the city, we can pretty much do what we want. Because what are they going to do about it?
They use their remote control on their vehicle to bring us back to them?
Okay. I don't think that's the thing, but...
Why would that not be a thing?
If they have a remote control in the vehicle, why not just send it off on its own? Or why haven't they done it themselves?
Because they need people like...
Because they can send the vehicle, but they need human agents.
So they can't just put one of their guys in it?
Well, like Bruce said, the reason that we're being chosen instead of one of their guys, that they know we don't have any connections, so there's things that we couldn't really cause trouble for them with.
If you get caught, then it's all on you.
Right.
So it's all on that guy too. I mean, what? It's not like
there's no direct link back to.
You mean caught by Sanctuary City?
Sanctuary City, yes, by Sanctuary City, because if you guys, in your breaking out, if you trip alarms and things like that, then they are going to be looking for you too. So if you get recaptured by Sanctuary City people, then there may or may not be a direct link back to to the families, the family, because in Sanctuary City there's the family, but he was referring to the families back in in New Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
as he explained, this was just one small group that was sent, to join the people in Sanctuary City and make sure that they understood, that the family had a presence there. All right, so do you have any other things you want to do at this point, or
There's nothing that I can think of.
Okay.
Except, as I said, maybe ask the Mafia guys if we can go somewhere else. But I mean, if people don't agree with that, then no.
Okay. Well, until you actually talk to the Mafia guys, I'm going to table that. But you can discuss whether you should. It's perfectly fine. So, anyways, your time passes until until finally. So I'm assuming you're just going to sit around and do whatever you're going to do until finally Angel becomes available again, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Eventually, you will. Angel will contact you. She'll basically come out of it, um, and she'll. Uh,
Hey, you're back.
Yeah, they basically, they just gave you your visor back, by the way, because while they were working on you and such, they actually had that off so they could use the telemetry they needed to get inside your head.
I figured.
How do the ears work?
They popped your top.
Well, you guys don't know what they did, so she might want to tell you why she was in the hospital all this time.
Yes. What? Are you better? Are you feeling better now?
I had my hearing fixed. Sounds are so much more different than I remember.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was unaware they had the technology.
Yeah, they
Is it
told
giving you trouble?
Yeah, they told you that they usually do this kind of work on this kind of
babies.
work on children, or they do
Yeah.
it as reconstructive surgery. So it took longer than they expected
Yeah.
to get done, but it was successful.
They managed it. They usually do it on kids. At least
Oh,
at
all
least they
right.
managed it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Genetic flaws.
Yeah, I hear you.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Sorry, had to go there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now when
So
someone blows in your ears, you can actually hear it as well as feel it.
So do you have to learn to listen to things again?
most likely, yes. I will be experiencing phantom sounds if I try to listen without the visor for a while. But I can live with that.
All right.
I kind of have to now, but you know what?
Yeah, we
Hmm.
really would be good if like other Earths could get this technology.
It would
Because
be
medical stuff is better than even your medicine, like by a lot.
Hmm.
yeah, just question is how do we get it there without totally screwing things up?
Huh?
Well, okay. I mean, I think it should be kind of obvious to you that that if you can somehow broker a deal with the Central Church, then who is not hiding, underneath miles of rock.
Oh,
Okay, then a trade deal would be easier to accomplish than here in the Central City. This is where you're mostly here. You're just getting just this, these wild concepts of what can possibly be done.
fair
But
enough.
unless you work with them to, to go to the portal and set up some kind of a conduit, they're kind of limited as far as being able to do that with IDET. But the Central Church, being as big as it is, and in fact, again, like I said, they're not hiding. Okay, then if you reveal to them where the portal is, then they can. Then you can engage in something closer to commerce.
That is absolutely fair enough.
All right, so it's up to you what you want to do.
Hey, what have you guys been doing for the past 12 hours?
I've been trying to research the Mafia. Best I could find is that first of all, it's real. It's not some kind of trick. They should probably do have the ability to do what they say they want to do. I found like a guy who claimed to be involved in some kind of crime involving equipment associated with one of the Mafia guy's henchmen. I didn't find any crimes associated with the main guy, but it's clear they do have their fingers in a lot of pies.
Okay. Then.
Just like the our Mafia, the same way.
And we don't really have contact with the outside, so I really couldn't get any direct information about what the Mafia would be like in New Jerusalem. I mean, I found some old lists of code words and such, but I'm sure they're either obsolete or it would be considered, laughable because it's like trying to, walk into a store today and buy something with like some Roman coins.
Oh.
But anyway, that's what I've been doing. So we need to. I had the idea of asking the Mafia guys if we can actually go to the portal, because I don't think whatever they use to take us to New Jerusalem is going to just let us go anywhere we want. But maybe I'm wrong.
I really don't like the idea of informing them about the portal.
I mean, or we could not inform them, try to go there anyway, and see if they use the remote control.
Okay.
Or even if they don't, they may think, well, at least they'll tell us, where the hideaway is.
Maybe we should find out what their plan is before we make decisions.
Well, we know what their plan is. Their plan is to give information to the other Mafia groups there and say, we're another Mafia group. We want to contact you.
The family.
I get that part. I meant the why and how of it, not just the end.
Well, the reason why is obvious. They want to contact another Mafia group to join up.
I get that part. I understand that part. I want to know how they plan on getting us there.
And if they
find that out until we agree.
I'm not going to if anything at this point until they tell us. Right. Unless we know we're just speculating it wildly. Does that make sense?
Fair enough.
Then let's ask them when they come to get us.
Yeah.
And make it clear that before we agree to anything, we want some specifics. Doesn't have to be everything, but some.
Yeah, well, they still have a gun in their head, even though they don't actually physically hold a gun in their hands.
How do they have a gun to our head?
I mean, they can obviously track us down anywhere, and it's not like we're hard to find.
Okay.
So it's implied that they can do bad things to us if we don't agree.
We are not helpless, Chen Wei.
Chen Wei has just spent a lot of time finding out, reading accounts of the early days of the Sanctuary City and some of the groups and some of the things that happened, and so he's much more believing that they are willing to engage in violence and other forms of coercion, then
Yeah, they are criminals.
He has spent a
So,
lot of time doing this.
so Chen Wei has basically become a conspiracy theorist.
Mafia is not a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, but the way
It's the
you're
mafia.
talking.
We know, like, they're criminals and they do stuff.
Yeah, but the way you're talking makes you sound like a conspiracy theorist.
I mean, they are like, they have infiltrated society, so maybe that counts. I don't know.
Well, clearly they've highly infiltrated this society. Whether they've infiltrated some of these other religions that are there is hard to say.
So, are you suggesting, Chen Wei? Are you suggesting we don't do this?
I don't really know. It seems to me like we sort of have to do this, but there's a question of exactly, things other stuff we might do, like, run away to the portal, or like contact somebody in New Jerusalem aside from Mafia, or I don't know.
That okay.
And then tells him try to make a trade deal with New Jerusalem. If we can.
I mean, they're religious fanatics, or at least publicly they're religious fanatics. I mean, who knows if if in private they really believe anything.
Well,
we don't. So we really don't know if we could trade with them or not. But got to find out. Going there would certainly help us learn about them. Although we do have the testimony of people who came from there. Although it's a while back.
50 years back.
100.
100 years back. No, they said they hadn't had anybody show up in like 50 years. Didn't they?
Yeah, but
the last group, people.
Right, but before then there were more. So I'm just saying is that basically the Central City got better at cracking down on it. So the fact you guys showing up after 50 years was a big surprise, and everybody was like, "Whoa, somebody else."
So I have no further suggestions, and I think we're going to have to do this in some form or another.
All right, very good.
Exactly what form or another is I don't know.
Okay, so are you saying then that you should contact Carmen and tell him that you have set up a meeting where you can discuss the leaving of Sanctuary City?
I would say yes, but maybe if we can, I don't know if we can, get him to describe some more details of what we have to do and how we're going to go about doing it before we actually agree. Although it's not clear to me we have a choice of whether to agree, so they may not bother answering that.
All right, so we'll go back to Carmen then.
All right. Is anybody objecting to that?
No.
Okay. All right. So you contact him, and they set up a meet for the next day, and you come on in, and they have a big pile of very strange looking equipment all piled up on a table, and there's a few people that that you didn't see before that are there now.
Are there any French crystals visible in the equipment?
No. Are you going to just keep hoping that one time I'm going to say yes, right?
Well, I mean, there was a French crystal in Zamboni's equipment.
Granted. Granted, that was those were some.
I mean, maybe these guys heard about what we did and
okay.
got
there's a
together on the
dozen
equipment
rainbow.
with crystals.
I'm glad you're asking, Ken. Okay, I just I shouldn't make fun of you for it. It's yeah. You're right. I mean, who knows? Somebody they may suddenly bring in something that has a crystal attached to it somewhere. I certainly run plenty of Fringeworthy stories where that actually did happen. Okay, but anyway, so he's there and he's out of the bed. He's basically over. Now he's sitting, behind a big desk. Okay, and he's basically, it's like a big recliner, and is like going around the room and stuff like that. And you guys show up, and he's like, "Oh, good, good, good. You're on time. That's always good. No kneecapping today."
Okay.
Already been kneecapped.
It's not
Thanks.
really a joke.
You still have that thing on, by the way. He looks over. He says, "What happened to you?"
Got
Got
kneecapped.
Well, there's always the other one. But anyways,
No.
just kidding, folks. Okay, so I'm sure So I'm glad to hear that you're on board and you're ready to be the point of the spear as we go to back in our efforts to reconnect with the families at one of the one of the ocean cities. So
Okay.
all right. So the first so what I know you want to know how we're going to do this, and some information I can give you, but just in the case that that you're doing the long con here, and some information we won't. But you are all going to be outfitted in these expeditionary assistive exoskeletons, so to speak.
Oh, wow.
And that will allow you to travel quickly, and also it has a number of items on it that will help us maintain secrecy and covertness, because we have to assume that the central city is, of course, looking. I should say the central church is still looking for us, especially considering it's not been that long since you guys came to Sanctuary City. So we're going to need to make sure that you travel a fair distance away from Sanctuary, the location of Sanctuary City, wherever that might be, and the which I will know, by the way, before you leave, because I have he points to this big, it's like small safe. He says, "I have the combination passed down, from father to son, and that actually has the location of Sanctuary City in it." Okay.
Oh, incredible.
But we're not going to open that until the very last moment and make whatever adjustments we might have to make, or even cancel the entire trip if it's ridiculous. But that's what we're going to do. Now, this is an important thing is that you guys are you guys are the number one. So, since you are used to being on the surface and such, you are our go-to guys. However, we there's going to be at least one person from the families that come along with you with all the information necessary in order to communicate with the with the families. Okay,
Makes sense.
And it's and over here it's it's this fellow over here. His name is Carmine, and he is my chosen person to be your. You are his guide, but he is my guy. So, anyways, and he will have that information. Okay, so the plan is okay. Once you guys, yeah, he also has a lot of skills regarding since you are kind of new to here. He has a lot of skills as far as getting through the barriers and such to actually to the surface, and the so he should be very useful to you. But once we get to the surface,
I raise my hand.
Yes.
I have a question. I recall you said your reason for recruiting us was that we're new and we're not associated with anybody here.
Right.
If you're going to send your assistant Carmine, obviously he is somebody from here, and he would be associated with people from here. So wouldn't that defeat the point?
Carmine understands that in a situation where he's going to be captured by the Central Church, by the Catholic Church, he is to eliminate any evidence that connects him to us and such.
So eliminate us.
Well, I was referring more to eliminating himself.
Oh, wow.
Okay, this is how important it is that this gets done. And naturally, of course, if you were to deviate from the intended purpose of this trip, then Carmine would also have to take whatever actions he thought appropriate.
Oh, wow.
So, but otherwise, he is your faithful companion. Just so we understand each other.
And
yeah.
How do we get back?
Well, once we, like I said, I will reveal the location of Sanctuary City to Carmen when you guys are leaving, okay, and he will then be able to pass that information on to the families once you get there. He will also have a number of things that will identify himself as of the lineage of our family, so that once he gets into contact with the families, that they will be bona fides for them, that he is who he is, and at which point he and you will be taken to the very stratified layers of the families, and to basically pass on the information that he is going to be bringing, and therefore, and then at which point you will be rewarded according to the resources of the families there. Unfortunately, I can't give you any promises about coming back. I can only say that if that is what you wish, then there is a very good likelihood of that happening, assuming that you're successful.
All right.
If you have not if we have not received any kind of a message or returned in the within 6 months' time, then we will assume that your efforts have failed, and we will and then we will make whatever additional plans. There is somebody who will be able to receive here in Sanctuary City, who will be able to receive a message from the families once you have reached them.
Okay, I have another question. Assuming we do succeed, and assuming we do manage to come back here, you said we could basically have whatever we want. Would that include, for instance, things you could do to keep us from just immediately getting arrested for having left the city?
Well, of course, if you come back, we will give you new identities.
I mean, how would you do that with the helmet, with the headset, with the data buddies?
data buddies can be convinced to impersonate, other people. I mean, it is within the, it's been done before.
Wow.
There have been some occasions where people needed to be replaced, and they were. So if you come back, you will be given new identities, and your data buddies will be adjusted.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. But we do not think it's going to take anywhere near 6 months for you to reach the center.
Yeah, but I don't think that it would take 6 months for us to get into trouble for having fled the city.
After all, you can go around the world in 80 days.
Okay, Phineas.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, we cannot use any. We are not currently committed to using any high-speed aircraft in order for you to reach the central city, because that would cause you to be intercepted by the Catholic Church.
And I take it you don't have any like connections in like the council and such who might let us, still be recognized as who we are, because we were.
We're not going to advertise how you were able to go and get out. Okay, I mean, depending upon what happens, you just.
So I'm talking about us returning and not having to go through all this, new identity stuff.
Well, I mean, it's always possible that you'll be able to get into contact with the rescue teams at a different location and get rescued by them again. There'll be, of course, a lot of questions about how you got out in the first place. And maybe you'll have an answer for them. I don't know. I'm not really in a position to do that. But I'm just saying is that it all depends on what you do.
So you don't have a person on the council who can keep things quiet.
If we have a guy on the council, I'm not going to tell you that. All I'm telling you is that if you manage to come back, we have resources to keep you from being arrested, imprisoned, and dissected by the security forces here in our lovely sanctuary city. Okay. But obviously you want to leave, so we're just actually we're helping you out, and we're just asking you to help our guy out. Now, once you get to the surface, I mean, I think it would not be in your best interest to abandon him. But if you did, Carmine might take that as an insult, But I mean, I suppose I could, if for some reason he needed you to act as a diversion so he could continue on his journey, then maybe everything would be okay. But it would come down later on to Carmen being able to communicate back to us. So
what if we were to finish our mission, successfully return, and then say we want to use some of this equipment and go somewhere for our own purposes? Would we be able to do that?
Maybe. That's a lot of what ifs. Why don't we wait until you actually communicate with the families? Because until you communicate with the families, you really haven't done us. You haven't done something where we owe you a favor. We're doing you a favor right now by getting you out of the city.
I can see that.
He's not wrong, Chen Wei. So just agree and complain later. How about that?
Oh, yeah. There, Missy. He says he's not disagreeing with me. He's just trying to make the best deal he can. And I appreciate that.
Oh, no. He's also partially disagreeing with you. Because that's what he does.
Wow.
I'm sorry to
And
say.
you're like disagreeing now.
Well, I guess I'll have to make an offer he can't refuse then.
Having come
Countess was
from my
already the
country,
offer
I
we
can
can't
understand
refuse.
that. Not uncommon where I come from.
He just looks at you. So, as I was saying, we have these overland travel. Figure you'll probably be doing most of your traveling overland.
Yes.
And well, though there is some possibility if you can find a high enough mountain, you can do any of you can uh, glide
Right.
distances, and maybe that might make it easier for you to get where you want to go. Um, we are you are going to be given a drone to basically fly up as high as it can and try to find the nearest light source for, of course, the oceanic cities. All produce a tremendous amount of light, and so that would be the direction you'd want to travel. And I don't know if there's. I mean, it says there won't be any way for you to tell, as far as I know, unless you, of course, you do some searching amongst some of the abandoned cities, the on the land, whether there'll be any place for you to find out. But like I said, Carmine will know where Sanctuary City is, so
Yes.
that in a way that he will be able to clearly know where it is. But he's not going to give that information to you, um, uh, since that also keeps us safe here, because we don't want to be suddenly and unless the families decide that it would be best for it to become common knowledge, at which point all of our lives are going to be considerably different. Uh, the
Yes.
the I'm assuming that's not going to happen, okay? Because like I said, we were always told that we should come back at some point, and so now there are reasons for us to go back that have not been conveyed to you, but they are important. So we and hopefully we will be able to once we have established some form of communication with the families, um, we will be able to coordinate our efforts between the ocean cities and Sanctuary for a better future for everyone. So, anyways, so like I said, you'll have a drone, and its job is primarily to fly up and figure out what heading you guys are to take, and some idea about how far away is the nearest city. And then, like I say, you have these travel suits that are also designed to be surreptitious. It's they have been there aren't we don't have extras of these because it's taken a lot of time to these had to be created piecemeal through various means to keep the creation of them secret, because of course anything that would allow you to survive outside and such might that creation might be flagged by the government.
You think it's going to take maybe up to 6 months to get there?
No, I think that it might take up to 6 months for you to do whatever is necessary with the central committee. I mean with the families. I mean, I'm assuming that you're going to be able to get there in possibly at the most a month. Okay.
How are we going to do with food for that amount of time? Food and water for that amount of time?
Okay. Well, you will. There will be a certain amount of food um, that will come with you, and and power supplies and such for what you're trying to do. I think that it actually might take a lot less time than that. I think we're making a tacit idea that it might be that, depending on where we are. If we are at the Antarctica, okay, then that would be a fair distance to any of the already. We know where the cities are, okay. So I'm just saying is that if the nearest one is to Antarctica, then that would be a long trip.
Or maybe maybe the sanctuary city is secretly 20 miles below New Jerusalem, and there's actually no distance on the surface at all to get there.
Well, that would be very convenient.
Extremely.
I would not. I do
not likely, but you never know.
I think they would have found us long ago if that was the case.
Mm.
All right. Anyways, so we will definitely be giving you. So I mean, don't worry. You are going to get fed. You are going to have water. Okay, and and of course you will have the ability to harvest, especially water. Okay, from the air. And other places where it might be. I mean, there's probably still lakes and things like that.
No, there's not. From what we've seen, there isn't anything on the surface.
So you're saying it's all sublimated?
It's lifeless up there.
Okay. All right. Well, there inside of some of the abandoned cities, there might be containers of water, but like I said, you should be able to. We are going to be bringing a fair amount of water with you. I mean, it's not going to be just you personally carrying it. There's going to be some mules also carrying stuff. So
okay,
all right. So you're not. It's not just what you have on your back, though. What you have on your back will be considerable. Anyways. Like I said, these are expeditionary suits. We've been planning this a long time. Your chances of survival are very good because it would be stupid for us to do this and you not be able to reach, any of the oceanic cities. Right?
Okay.
All right. So we're planning on the worst case scenario here. Hopefully it'll be very easy. Okay.
Yeah, so
the hardest part is actually going to be getting out of Sanctuary City. So, all right. Anyways, so he goes over. He says, "So I want you to meet he goes over to this one big pile of something. It looks like cloth and struts and things like that. He says, "This is, this is Julie." It says, "Julie,
hi, Julie.
Wake up!" And all of a sudden, the thing just basically stands up and folds itself out and produces legs. It's kind of looks like a giant spider.
Hi, Julie.
Okay, and he says, "Julie is a terrestrial squid, a robotic terrestrial squid. Julie has the ability to disassemble into smaller pieces and reassemble in case you ever get someplace where it's too narrow for Julie to get through." He says, "This is Elaine over here." And he tops on her when no one gets up. Says, "Julie is carrying most of your food, and also carrying and is also carrying the drone." Okay, Elaine over here is carrying all your water. They are both powered by fusion power plants, but they are heavily shielded, and they are designed to operate at very low intensities unless it becomes very, very necessary.
Mike is just looking dumbfounded.
Hi, Elaine.
He says, and Elaine, you hear Elaine saying, says, "Hello." This says, this feminine voice. "I'm Elaine, and I'm super excited to be part of this mission."
Did anybody else actually hear that, or is that just me?
Everybody hears that. Julie says, she says, "I was named first. I should have been the first one to say it." And Elaine says,
Oh.
he says, you all, just because you were born, an hour before I am, doesn't make you my big sister.
I
Do
was
they
saying
have
that in
weapons?
character.
Like if we get like attacked or something?
They do have weapons of a sort, and but there's nothing about them that would lead back to here. So, of course, they, they can't explode. Their fusion power plants are not designed for that. Their primary job is to. You could take shelter. I mean, you definitely can take shelter under them. Uh, and one of their purposes is that outer flexible layer you're seeing. That is there to provide thermal protection. They have a supply of cryogenic fluid inside them, which also is necessary for um, the fusion. But it also can be used to thwart thermal imaging type devices. They also have sensors on them they're going to be primarily looking around for anything that might be looking for you. So be nice to Julie and Elaine, because they're basically there to help you and to keep you alive. Okay.
What if we run into another equivalent of sanctuary?
Okay. If you find another sanctuary, please record that information and do not deviate from your mission, which is to meet the other families. Tell the other families that there's another sanctuary. If they don't know that, that would be.
Or what if that's not really what I meant. Like, what if we run into a hostile group that's not either this sanctuary or New Jerusalem?
I would say try to avoid them. Do your best to avoid them.
Okay.
Your design, your entire setup is designed for quick travel and stealth. All right. So I don't know whatever other hostile group you might think you might run into is probably not going to be the biggest thing you have to worry about is aircraft. Okay. If they detect you, then it's pretty much going to be over. You're going to get captured. Okay. We are not, it is, you know, um, but the goal is for you to surreptitiously reach the one of the ocean cities and meet the families and let them take it from there. I highly recommend that you don't try to get into any kind of a standing battle with any forces, whether they be associated or unassociated with the church, because first of all, is that they're going to be more lethal because the church has engaged in has always primarily used defensive measures in their wars. They've been, is again, if you were a superior foe, then you should show mercy. That's part of the faith of the church. So, and as the family are good Catholics, we also uphold that. So
Good.
we only engage in violence when absolutely necessary. We prefer to come to, as I said, offer a um, deal that they cannot refuse.
Okay.
And Carmen has my full authority to make any such deals as necessary. But the important thing is not to lead until you reach the families. The most important thing is not to lead the Catholic Church back here to sanctuary.
Okay.
All right. So, but you're probably going to be more interested in these in the exoskeletons.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So each exoskeleton has its own micro fusion generator.
Mm.
And it is capable of providing power for a nominal 2 years, so more than enough time for
Mm.
you to reach. It says it's using the latest fiber technology. It has the capacity to travel overland. Faster than you're not going to be walking unless you have unless you're camping or something like that. You'll travel overland, but the best thing to do is to climb the nearest mountain, get up as high as you can, and then it'll deploy a sail, as in a sailplane, as in a glider, and you will glide as far as you can, and and then repeat, okay, until you reach
Mm.
one of the cities. Okay, so theoretically, you should be able to do this very, very quickly. These,
Mm.
depending upon how high you go, you might be able to travel 100 miles in a single glide. Depends on how high you
Wow.
get. I mean, you guys are already, going to be having your own, and it will provide you with the heat you need, the air you need, the
Mm.
um, medical services as necessary in combination with your visors
Mm.
and your data buddies. Okay, but they are, of course, we will have to alter your data buddies not to operate on a microwave transmission rather than the normal transmission. Um, because otherwise, and under circumstances to damp it all down, so that you guys don't broadcast your position uh, all to anything that might be around, just in case
Right.
the central city may. I keep saying that central church may have put out uh, detector drones, okay, that are
Mm.
just sitting there on low power mode, waiting for a signal of some kind, and then at which point they would then power up and then broadcast, "Hey, they're here. Something's here. Come find whatever is here," and then come and chase you. But of course, if that was to happen, the first thing you'd want to do would be take off as fast as you possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
Under normal circumstances, you probably would they would be very unlikely to run into anything for quite some distance. But because you guys did do all that stuff with the rescue team, the central this the central church is very much aware that there's a group operating on the surface and they're probably continuing to search for you because it's not been that long since you came into the city.
Mm.
So, so they're going to be a relatively high alert. They're not going to be a super high alert because otherwise we wouldn't go. But I'm just saying is that we, based upon records we have of military actions in the past, they seem to go into they don't seem to do this forever. You know what I'm saying? They go it's one of those things where high interest and then it kind of goes like that. So does that make sense?
So far.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So and of course your exoskeleton will provide you with a lot of protection against various types of attacks and such, but mostly we're looking about, so that when you land, if there's any issues about landing, you'll be able to do that, safely, because you're going to be coming in. The air's kind of thin. You're going to be coming in probably pretty fast. So your suit, by the way, is designed also to allow you to land. So, but I'm just saying.
One would think
good
so.
to clear that up.
But you would be landing probably on, I mean, depending upon where you decide to go, you're probably going to be coming down over top of urban areas. You'd be landing on top of that array of what used to be lights.
So we land in a random spot and try to not immediately get caught so we can find the Mafia.
Yep.
Once you get near once you get near one of the cities, okay, then Carmine will be able to go and hack into their communication network and send a message.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm sure that there's somebody out there that has a trigger in the data flow that says if someone says these keywords, and displays these artifacts, pay attention to it and get whatever the action was that they were planning on, go do it. So see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're never actually entering the city?
Oh yeah, you are absolutely going to go into the city. I mean, that's the
All
plan.
right.
That is absolutely the plan. Okay.
All right.
But
Okay.
he's going to have to, he's going to have to contact them so they can tell him and where to go into the city, and keep your identity secret until such time as they want to reveal your identities. Whatever. After you guys have met with the families and worked out a.
So we're going to be wearing these big suits when we walk
Yes.
into the city?
Well, you may abandon them before that. Okay. I mean, once it's it's there, you won't need them once you get near one of the cities.
All right.
I mean, they're there to get you to one of those cities.
So they
and I highly recommend that you don't go flying over one of the cities unless Carmine decides that's the best thing to do. But this is a thermally neutral passive means of transportation using a glider.
right.
So, and it's going to and if they are using some kind of radar detection of things like that, then you'll know about it before you get to the city. I can't imagine them. You'll know once you go up. If you get up to the surface and you find all kinds of radio waves bouncing off of everything, like they've got some kind of grid over the entire surface, well, then that's going to be a
Right.
different story. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think that they're probably any kind of sensor web is going to be closer to the city, and any kind of detectors they might have are probably going to be things that they have to seed and replace, on a very intermittent basis.
Especially if nothing's happened in 50 years. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Well, something did just happen, but yeah, before that, hadn't happened for a long time. Yeah, Sanctuary
I'm actually
City
kind of surprised they even bothered to intercept us because nothing's happened in 50 years.
Well, we did broadcast. I mean, we do. Sanctuary City broadcasts to people saying, "Hey, here's the location. If you can get to it, we'll rescue you." So that's something they've been
Yes.
doing ongoing for decades now. So it's so yeah, we keep revealing our presence to the Catholic Church. Okay, and then they keep trying to capture us so that they can find out where we are and come in and repatriate the city back to Oceania, or whatever you want to call the cities. And that's we would like to do that on our own terms.
Maybe that's where they
if you
marry
don't
in a
mind.
trench.
I can tell you right
Okey-dokey.
now that the council will never let anybody would never let that happen. Okay, they think that the best way is just to continue living separately for the next millennia. Okay, and that's not a good idea. And I really can't talk to you about that. Maybe Carmine will reveal that information if he thinks it's necessary. But what all of our goals are with the families. But anyways, go ahead and think about anything that you need to take with you, that you want to take with you, and we'll see if we can accommodate you. Otherwise, we're ready to go whenever you are.
Now we have stuff that we brought from IDET, right? How much of that do we still have? Because I think we lost most of it.
Why would we have lost most of it?
That was last.
The council may have taken it just so they could.
I don't mean then. I mean when we originally came here to Sanctuary, like. I mean, our original vehicle and such is gone.
Oh. Yeah, that got destroyed.
So do we have any more stuff than what we're carrying?
I had my backpack and stuff.
I had mine too.
I mean, that falls under what you're carrying, but so we don't have anything else other than what we're carrying that we need to take.
Well, we got some shoes and a dodecahedron and
A now
that's
useless
true.
hearing aid.
a now useless hearing aid.
I'm still keeping it because it's funny.
You can hang it on your wall. Wear it around your neck.
I'm gonna keep it attached to my shirt like I usually do.
Okay, very good.
I don't know. I mean, just what we've collected here, I suppose.
Yeah. And any computer, stuff that I recorded.
Mm-hmm.
So we pretty much just have our backpacks, and that's about it.
And our computers and.
Well, my computer was in my backpack, so yes.
Okay. Then they are going to.
I do need a couple of days to recover from my knee here.
Okay.
I mean, Can we plan on like maybe a week or so?
Yeah. I mean, there's no hurry. I mean,
and
we've been waiting quite a while, to do this. It doesn't have to be done tomorrow. We would like you guys to practice with your equipment. I mean,
yes, definitely.
I mean, this is not the kind of this is not this isn't a medical exoskeleton. Actually, he'd probably just call it an assist suit. This isn't a medical assist suit. This is an expeditionary assist suit, and so therefore, it's got, it's you're going to need to learn somewhat how to control it. Okay, because I mean, you can just simply say, yeah. I mean, and under the worst case scenario, we can just slave it in, to like over there. I mean, really, if it comes down to it, you can. Some of you guys, at least one each, could possibly sit on Elaine or what do I call the other one? Come on, guys, help me out.
Wait, I was supposed to write that down?
The other one was the squid.
The other one was squid.
Julie.
No, it's the name was
Elaine and Julie.
Julie,
Elaine
yeah.
and Julie, you guys are worthless.
We are. I
That's what
agree.
the recording's for.
And basically, the two of them start giggling when he says that. He goes. He says that. Yeah. He says he looks over. He says, so they
So like, what's your problem?
I guess they actually have to have these personalities, don't they? And one of the guys says, yeah, it was it raised the chance of success by like 17%.
I like them.
All right, okay. Anyways, you are good girls. You see them basically titter their feet back and forth. Yeah, like that guy that excited them somehow.
Mike says, and I'm Julie McCoy, your socialator.
Socialator. I love that term. Anyways,
Socialator?
okay. Yeah, it's from Babylon. I mean, it's from
Battlestar Galactica, original Battlestar Galactica.
the mini series. Yeah.
Question. Question mostly out of character. The uh exoskeleton suits that they're wanting us to use, are those comparable to the enviro suits that we use? The environmental suits?
Oh, they are far superior to those.
Okay.
Okay, all
That's
right.
what I was curious about. Like,
Yeah, and you'll find that they are completely adaptive to your body shape,
Oh, okay.
and like you're not going to you're not going to need to stop and take a leak or whatever.
Are they adaptive to our body shape in an environmental suit? Is the question.
Oh, you want to wear your environmental suit inside of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you could test that theory.
That's odd. That's odd.
Well, it's Department of Redundancy.
Yeah,
Let
they're gonna say
Yes.
that they're gonna say that's not a good idea.
I say let him test the
Oh,
theory. Worst case scenario, he only does it
If you
once.
want to carry your environmental suit along with you, but that's you need you're going to need to be things need to be attached to you. Okay, that we'd have to poke holes in your environmental suit if you were actually wearing your
okay,
environmental suit. Okay,
Oh,
so
okay.
Say
anyways,
worst case
but
scenario, he only does it once.
all right. Anyways, so when you get into this thing, okay,
Yeah.
it's basically it's like your Doc Ock. Okay, you've got these big
Oh, fun.
fiber arms come out and they lift you up and they move you around and you could do like you could practice doing a cartwheel and stuff like that. But you also have this thing that folds out at one point and deploys the you, you know deploys uh, the the sail, deploys the so you can but you need to basically and uh, they actually have you practice in a basically they take you to another location where you're actually going to be inside of essentially it's like a gymnasium. Okay, and they're going to have you practice there with it. Okay, so that
Okay.
not that it doesn't do most of the work for you. It's just that like you might if you say you want to go and reach over and you might want to like tear open something and this thing can go over and grab onto something and yank it free. And at the same time as it's going to have to you know it has to find like stuff to anchor itself to and stuff. So it's like I said, it's like you're all a bunch of Doc Ocks. Okay, with
All right.
with a backpack, sail, for to so you guys can literally fly through the air. Okay, but it's obvious that this is important because when you're uh when you're trying to go up mountains and things like that, so you can get high, so you can deploy this thing. That means you're going to have to. It's it's designed to literally climb up stuff. So you can literally climb
Oh,
up the
wow.
outside of a building if there were outside of buildings here in the city for you to do that. But I'm just saying where you were before, there were buildings. Okay, and so you could do that. Okay, and also when you come into land, on wherever you land, if you're actually going to land on top of the those structures, those then this thing is going to have to go and grab onto the wires and things like that, and try not to like smash into the crossbars and things like that. It's going to have to work with stuff. So there's a lot of computer stuff that's going to be going on inside. So these are smart suits, okay? But
wow.
I'm just saying is that it's the primary thing for these things is to climb up a mountain as quickly as possible without exhausting you guys. So most of the time you're more or less going to be the tank commander, and this is going to be your tank, what you're wearing. So, but you're going to find it as you practice with it, you find it very adaptive. So like when you start reaching for something, it reaches for it. Initially you kind of have to wait. You kind of like start waving your arm at it, and then it tries to understand what you want. And of course, your data buddy is all involved in this, basically integrating itself with the servos and the fiber system that's in there. Okay, so on your visors, you will see things like amount of oxygen, oxygen level. You know the any reserve, things like food or water that might be carried inside the suit, with anything having to do with, hydraulic is the wrong term, but basically, the system itself, if there are errors, if it gets damaged, okay, it'll basically tell you things like that,
How do we repair it if it gets damaged?
Well, that's it's somewhat self-repairing, but basically that's where you're going to need Carmine, because Carmine is understands technology much better than you do. So, but Julie and Elaine are also there to help repair things if necessary. They, by the way, have their own sails as well. They're going to be climbing up, but they're obviously made much out of much stiffer, stronger material than what your stuff is made out of. So that because they're carrying more, and like a nuclear power plant, you actually do have those, okay, but they're very small. Okay, as in, it looks to be about this. Well, it looks to be about the size of one of those scuba tanks.
All right.
Okay, and it does, and it's and it has, its own little, um, 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 well, it has its own little, like liquid nitrogen tank on it. Okay. Meanwhile, Julie and Elaine, they're in charge of actually producing more cryogenic fluids. So they actually have the ability to go in and decant the liquid nitrogen out of the air, so that you can, or it's either liquid nitrogen. I don't think it's oxygen. Whichever decants first, they're going to use whatever decants first. CO2 is not good because it's going to come out as a solid. So you need something that's liquid.
Sure.
So as far as I know, the next big liquid, I believe, is the oxygen. So they're going to be able to do it, which also provides you with oxygen to help supplant your, but that's, that's one thing that would, if you were to bring, it's, it would not be a good idea to breathe liquid oxygen out of this tank. I'm saying.
No.
Anyways, so it's a whole thing. Okay, it's obviously super high tech. It's something that looks like science fiction to you guys, and you don't. And basically, your data buddy will give you as much information as you can understand, starting at the top level of like how do you get in and out of it. What to do if something stops working right. Like if you pull loose a sensor from your body to the suit, how to reattach it, where to put it to, and stuff like that, and then how to use the, how to drink out of it, they actually have they can give you minor sensory simulations of what it's going to be like to wear the suit, as far as what it's basically just trying to get you. The idea is that once you get used to it, hopefully it'll feel fairly natural, except for the fact is that you're walking around on spider legs, basically, made out of these like pseudo pads of fibers. Okay. Much like, right now there's like these fibers that are coming out of Gandalf's suit. They're allowing him to walk around and carry him and set him up. And so
Speaking of which, how much longer does Gandalf have to be in the suit?
Oh, well, definitely by the time you are done, it was only supposed to be maybe a week. I think I said it was a week.
I think at this point he likes the suit.
Yeah, and maybe he just likes the suit. He doesn't have. He doesn't. He doesn't. He doesn't have to ever worry about going to the bathroom or anything in the suit. The suit just takes care of all that.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, more fun for everyone.
He says, all I do is eat. It's just, and magically, and I'm never full. In either end. It's nice.
I think he'd find it hilarious that we're coming up with theories about his own character.
Yeah, right. Okay, so anyways, I think we should stop here. If you guys, again,